Hello, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Ace Your Space. And now, here is your host, Michelle Chatterchick. Hello!
I love it, Chuck. I feel like I want to run down and say, door number 1, when you announce my name. It makes me feel like I'm in Hollywood, you know? You have that voice for all of us. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, all of you who's listening to our 32nd hour of Ace Your Space. We're done with the politics for this morning now, because we don't do politics, you and I. We talk about where we work because we love it. Right, Chuck?
That's right. And Ace Your Space is brought to you by Ace Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical Supplies, 667 in Vineland. Have 7 locations all across South Jersey, and that is who's bringing you this great show today. Michelle, as always.
As always. And you know what? This is going to be our Good Riddance 2020 Hello Sunshine 2021 show. What do you think? Let's talk about a couple of things we did. You know, how we started off 2020, Chuck, you and I at Ace, and then how we adapted, and maybe go into what our thoughts are, how we're growing into 2021, where we're at right now, you know?
Well, we actually weren't on. Our show was on last month, but we were not.
Yes, and that was something that we did different, isn't it? And it worked out. You know, it was December, and let's face it, we were right after Christmas, and it was just nice to do that, to dedicate our hour for the holiday music, because you and I had discussed it, and we felt that everybody could use some more, you know, good music, some feel good. It was right after Christmas, and you wanted to keep that feel there, you know?
Mm-hmm. And I think the general population needs some feel-good music and feel-good vibes, so I'm glad we're able to offer that last month.
They need, I've done, you know, myself, well, back up to the 2020 Good Riddance. Of course, 2020 was January. Then we had February. By the first week of April, I see myself working from home, which was different, too. I had to adapt to that. I mean, I've worked from home, and you have prior to working at Ace, but I have been working in a building for a couple of years, you know what I mean? So it was totally different to come home. And, you know, through my research over the months, there is a lot of mental, I want to say illness, but it sounds so harsh that way, a lot of playing on the mind while you're working from home. And with that, and it's really only because you're not talking to anybody. Nobody's calling you from the office, so you're not talking to anybody. So what I did, and what I went around, and you will love this, is to how about you enhance your workspace at home a little bit? You can enhance your home, period, with some LED lighting. Right? It's a you use it in your home for accent lighting, correct? Yeah. So in saying that, LEDs, I mean, they have a light, and it's actually, it is sunshine, except it just doesn't have the ultraviolet rays. So, I mean, if you get yourself some LED lights at Ace Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical Supplies, I'm going to tell you something. Increase your alert. Those color components are identical to the sunshine. That's what I was trying to say. They're identical to it, but you don't have the ultraviolets. So, also, if they like if you notice when you're shopping, and if the audience that's listening notice when you're shopping, you hear a lot of background music, and there's a lot of lights, right? Because those lights, and they are like sunshine, make you and then they trump it off with the music, and that makes people buy more. It's just a win-win for the customer and for the retailer, you know. So 2021, you and I started off different than we did 2020, correct?
You mean how we started off last year compared to this year?
Last year compared to this year.
Well, last year, yeah, I mean, in the beginning of the year, of course, there was rumblings of the coronavirus spreading, but we hadn't had any, anything official in the U.S. as far as cases.
Right.
The first one was in Washington State, if my memory serves me correctly.
Good for you. Look at you.
And I started working from home mid-March, and went back in June.
Yes.
And the funny thing is, I'm an introvert at heart, which is actually the opposite of what you are.
Yes.
Being an artist, you get used to working alone because, quite frankly, you don't really need to be around a group of people to do what we do. So
right.
It's easy to go into the cave as an artist. And that's kind of felt like, it was weird because I felt like I missed people, but it wasn't like...
And I just want to mention what you do for ACE. Just what you're talking about now is that you are a graphic artist, but you're also the media tech. And I don't know. I know what you do. I don't know how to title it to where everybody that's listening would understand what you're saying, like as an artist, because that's what you do for us at ACE. That's only one of the many. But I wanted people to know that about you, because they probably don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a whole gambit of things. That's why I say media arts technician, because media
covers it all. Mm-hmm.
Media means internet, and I'm all over that and doing ads and things. So it's really that's the best way to paint them with a broad brush.
So continue. So you being an introvert and doing a living.
I mean, introvert. I was a painful introvert until college. I had effective speaking in college, and that kind of pulled me out of my shell.
Which has actually helped me a lot because you helped me with my speech.
If you had told me when I was in college I would be on the Cruise 92.1 WVLT doing 2 shows, one for ACE and one for myself, I would say, if you told me that back then, I would have laughed. I said, are you crazy? I'm scared to death.
To talk to people, right? Like to...
Well, for
large crowds. But you know what, Chuck, not for nothing. That's most people. I think I get more nervous about it than you, actually, sometimes. You know what I mean? But that's most people. I mean, they say even like comedians and, or anchors on TV, news anchors, they're very, very nervous.
There's a famous joke from Jerry Seinfeld where he says that when people have to give eulogies at funerals, they'd rather be the one in the casket than speak in front of people.
You know what? That's good. That is good. That is good. So as we're moving along here on our talking about how we've adapted, you were able to go down into your cave, which is your office, and be who you are because that's what you're used to. And it's comfortable for you. There's no phones ringing, nothing going on to disturb you.
It wasn't much of a shift, honestly. I just did the same thing I do every day at ACE.
Right, because at ACE, I noticed that you keep quiet because you have the headphones on because, you can't have, you really can't. I don't know if people realize, but if you're in the middle of, some kind of great, you're putting something together, some kind of promotion that's great, and the phone rings, oh, boy. You know what I mean? It just pulls some of that from you. So you actually sit at work with, not headphones, but earplugs.
I do the one headphone trick. Where
you do the...
I have the one, because you have to be able to hear what's happening around you.
Yes.
I don't want to get people annoyed and keep calling for me, so I only have one ear with a headphone in. It's my way of managing.
It's funny.
To hear what's happening in the... And if anybody wants to use that trick, go ahead. You just pop that little headphone in one side, one ear, so you can still... You're in your zone, but you can still hear what's happening around you.
Right, and this way you're doing both. You're doing what you need to get done, but you could also make sure that somebody doesn't need you over here. So in saying that, I am the opposite of you, as you mentioned. I came home to work, and I like to brainstorm. I do marketing and I do research, but I come up with ideas like crazy for everything. Could be just one word, and I got a great idea out of nowhere in my head. You know what I mean? So I bring it to the boss. So in saying that, I was just sitting home and thinking, how am I going to get in contact with our customers, our contractors? Like, they're so used to me talking to them. They're so used to certain people talking to them, So I came up with an internet show. I mean, I had to learn how to adapt at the age of 58, almost 59, to adapt to what's going on in the world, to keep their name out there. So I came up with Lunchbox Banner. And I actually have Carol Lightcap, who was the first one to join me, gave me a little confidence in doing it, sort of say, because, listen, we're trying something new out in the world to communicate to them. And we've been successful with it. So Lunchbox Banner, let me tell you, Wednesdays and Thursdays, people, if you're on Facebook, it's Facebook Live. It's only 15 minutes, and it's very, very informative. Wednesdays is The Heat is On. And then Thursdays is A.O. Smith with Carol Lakecap, who puts a lot of effort into it for me. She's like you. Carol is my Chuck. That's what I tell Carol. You're my Chuck. Isn't that the truth when you think about this?
Yeah, those shows are very informative, and I think you don't have to be in the trade, ladies and gentlemen, to get something from those free shows or internet-only shows. They're on the ACE Facebook page and Michelle's Facebook. Check it out. It's a free show. You can have lunch with Michelle Lowe. How does that sound?
There you go. Lunch with Michelle.
Thursday at noon. It's Facebook.com/ACE Supply. Facebook.com/ACE Supply. Go ahead and give the page a like. And then every Wednesday and Thursday at noon, you get to listen to Michelle live at noon, and you can have lunch with her and learn a whole lot about water heaters, heating, some great stuff.
Petitions, Utica boilers. I mean, it's just, and all we do is 15 minutes. We don't want to be boring. We just want to talk to you a little bit and get some information out there about ACE and get some information out there about the manufacturers. And what it really does is keep the manufacturer, the vendor, the customer all in one place, and they could all talk together, You know what I mean? That was my goal. That's the goal of this. And in February, we're going to be adding one more series. It's the Pump It Up series. Pump it. Pump it. Pump it. So many pumps. And people don't realize we do. And I want all the contractors and all the residential folks to know what we sell over there. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people... I'm so glad I have this position there, Chuck, because I, myself, before I worked there, have no idea what ACE Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical Supply sells.
No, because I think to the average homeowner, you don't know what's inside, because it's more of a contractor-based... That's what the perception of the average person probably is. It's all for contractors to buy parts and product. But
right.
You have that enormous, beautiful showroom inside, which is actually open today until 3 o'clock, but we are doing it by appointment only, where we have a slew of products from American Standard, Moen, and it's all high-end stuff. We have something for every price range in that showroom, and it is probably Vineland's best-kept secret. Once you walk into that showroom, you'll be amazed. This has been here the whole time.
I couldn't believe it when I went for an interview and I walked through. I said, "You've got to be kidding! I've never been in here." The showroom, you know what I mean? You're like, it's especially the lighting room, And we mentioned the LED lights prior, and they could get them from the showroom, really just from the counter too, couldn't they? From the parts counter.
Yeah, and like you're saying how the LED mimics sunlight, and it really does. And you have that nice. It's a clean light that doesn't really have any color, just a bright light. And if you're used to like a tinted color, like the old standard bulbs, like where it's almost like a yellowish.
Wait a minute, yellow.
Yellow. You can actually, LEDs will mimic that. There's a filter on them. So if you're used to kind of like that soft light, you don't have to think of LEDs as this blinding bright light. And that's not necessarily the case. You can buy them where it's toned down a little bit. There's so many options. If you go to ACE Plumbing Supply on 667 South Delsey Drive and walk in there, they'll be happy to between the bulbs and get you set up with what you'd be comfortable with, in your home. It depends on what you're looking for. If you have a gym, let's say, at your home like I do, and you want it to be kind of bright inside, you can find bulbs for that. Or if you want something for the living room where you just kind of chill and watch a movie, and you don't want something that's real intense, lighting-wise, you can find that too.
I was reading where a doctor was doing a survey during the pandemic about people being at home and just the pandemic itself. And he was saying that people seem to feel more alone without the necessary support that they need while they're working from home. And that it causes a lot of stress and anxiety. And it's challenging to find that, like, strong support system. So what I did was I got lighting. Because and even though it's cold, today it's very, very cold, and I do feel a little cool air coming through the door, I got the door open for the light. Go ahead, caller. Hello?
Hello?
Oh, we can hear you now.
Oh, all right. Hold on 1 second. I'm trying. All right. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, who's this?
This is your conspirator from Lunchbox Banter.
Lunchbox Banter, Carol.
It is. It's Carol. How are you,
Carol,
Michelle?
I thought you were on vacation this weekend.
Well, hey, I'm never stopping for you, girl. You
Listen
you
to
have a lot
Carol.
going on. We needed
She's my LED light.
Yeah.
Lunchbox Banner. This is Carol Lightcap on the phone, folks, who represents A.O. Smith and a ton of other manufacturers. She is a rep for N.H. Yates and Company, and she does my Lunchbox Banner with me. She's the one that first started with me, and then we brought Dean in under that title, right?
Yes. So, Michelle, I
you're very
understand
good.
you have a problem with your own personal water heater?
Great. I woke up this morning. Thanks for bringing that up. I don't know if you know about this, Chuck, but I woke up this morning, and honestly, this is exactly how it went. I wake up, and I'm walking down the hall, and I say, I didn't know it was supposed to rain today. Honest to God.
Oh, my goodness.
It's about 5:45, I didn't know it was supposed to rain today. And as I'm walking closer, I'm getting close to the utility to get to that door. I'm getting closer to my utility closet. I know exactly what it was. I'm like, oh, my God, and Carol's on vacation. Carol's on vacation. Because believe it or not, Chuck, Carol does not live around the corner from me. But if she did, I'd be calling her to come over. Right, Carol?
That's right, girl. You would, too.
Carol knows how to do everything. You need anything with a hot water heater. I've never seen a rep like this. Her phone rings when we're practicing, when we're talking to practice, what we want to talk about for that week. That phone is nonstop with her contractors, and she answers it. I'm always on hold.
You have hold music, Michelle, when you're waiting for Carol?
You know what? I really, no. Work, because it's me. I would have to listen to me on the old hold. I get a little tired of me, Carol, you do such a great job for us for the show. You give out so much great information.
Well, thank you, Michelle. I enjoy informing people of how things are for A.O. Smith, and we have a great product to share. And we appreciate Ace selling it for us and being the distributor in the area. So. But, Michelle, one thing, the reason I brought up your leaky water heater was I have a special guest with me. He's going to make, I think, his debut today.
I was going to ask you if he was around.
He is.
I'm more of a square.
Who's going to announce his name?
I'm going to announce him. Here he is, introducing him to the world here as Ronnie Salami. Take it off,
Ronnie Salami, a resident plumber for Lunchbox Banner.
How are you?
Ronnie, how are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm doing myself a leaky pipe there, right?
Right, and you took Carol out of town, but really I would have been calling you because you're Ronnie Salami. You're the resident plumber, and you are joining Lunchbox Banner, aren't you?
I'm going to try. If I can get the time out whenever I can get on the lunchbox, I'm going to do it.
He's going to be our go-to guy. He's our resident plumber. We've named him. And he's not going to be on every show or anything, but we're going to be expanding in 2021. We're going to be doing videos, and we're going to even do some things on our time off for ourselves. You know what I mean? On the weekends.
Yeah,
we have these big ideas, Carol and I. And one of them was to get this gentleman that she knows, Ronnie. Well, we named him, We had to give him a name, and he's Ronnie Salami.
Well, we'll be making some how-to videos and some easy homeowner take care of your own equipment type of things. And
like the flex tube that I really probably should have been able to do myself.
You could probably do that if you had your own, a couple adjustable wrenches.
Yeah, so I give the guy the toolbox, and he goes, now I'm going to go out and get mine. I don't think I had the
Unless,
proper
of course,
tool
you
for
have
him.
My Little Pony tools.
$50 out the door, done. Because I don't know nobody. I lost my companion in February, or else he would have been here. He lived one house behind me. He would have ran over. I called the plumber 6:15. Hi. So,
Michelle, you just had something that was loose and just needed tightening.
It was the flex. Believe it or not, and I saw it. It was the flex hose had a pinhole in it. But listen to this. I looked down. Thank God I have one of those trays. It was filled with water. So this has been going on. I just happened to catch that. Thank God I did, because if I did not, I would be buying an A.O. Smith today.
Oh my!
But I didn't have to. Thank you, Jesus. Because I just don't want to do that expense right now.
Well,
They're not expensive.
I'm glad you caught that leak, Michelle. So, good example for people. Let's say they have a home outside of their normal home, and they wouldn't be down there when that happened. They could walk into a big mess. So
it gave me a valuable lesson, Carol, that we should talk about. That we should maybe open up our utility closet and look at it once in a while.
Exactly. You have a monthly inspection on your equipment. Bring Salami Ronnie with you, and Ronnie Salami.
Yep,
with you.
that's it. That's the first thing there, Ronnie Salami. We got to break you in. I mean, once a month. I mean, get ready. You're going to be busy.
We'll get our maintenance and our closets ready.
There you go. Mm-hmm. And Ronnie Salami and Carol, I wish you guys a great weekend.
Thank you.
You do the same, Michelle, and see you, Chuck. Take care.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
See you. I'll see you
bye-bye.
Wednesday. I'll see you Wednesday and Thursday, Carol.
Yes, you shall. See ya.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, that was nice to hear. That was Carol Lightcap.
Well, that's perfect timing.
It's our rep. What perfect timing?
Yeah,
Way. I know that she's away this weekend, so I'm very surprised that she even was listening and called. So you never know who's listening.
That shows you the reach of Cruise 92.1 WVLT.
Oh, well, they go all the way to Trenton, all the way down to the shore, North Jersey, South Jersey. Wherever the Gator's at, they're there. You notice?
Absolutely.
I wanted to mention, and I know that, that I go in a circle a lot, but I wanted to get this out there because it's kind of really important, and it's going to be really nice. And it's on the day of our 33rd show, which will be February 27th. Will be our 33rd hour that we've done our show together. That day is Winter Chicken Dinner right next door to Ace Your Space at Habitat. It's only $10. All of us on the board of directors, I'm on the board of directors of Habitat, we all have tickets, $10. They're going to be cooking them right there. Rob Bono from Greenview is going to be cooking the chicken. You're going to get chicken and all your sides. It's a pickup. It's a drive-by.
Nice.
Yes, so it's going to be really nice. Who knows, Chuck? We might be doing our show from there. What do we know?
You know what? If there's food there, I will be there.
Chuck will be there if you can give him one of those chicken dinners.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, no.
Actually, we need two because then he's got to go home to the wife. And, the baby, he doesn't eat a lot. How is your son, Mr. Shazer?
Oh, he's doing great, thanks. He's keeping Dad busy. We're playing a lot.
How old now?
Some really cool presents at Christmas time, some Hess trucks. And
Good.
He loves trucks, so we've been playing a lot with those. And he turned 2 in December. So
I can't believe it. I just can't believe. So does he have 2 Hess trucks now? One from last Christmas and this Christmas?
One from I collected them while I was growing up, so
yes,
I took one of mine out.
My son too. We all, every year from the time he was born. So, I don't know. He might have been maybe 14 when we stopped. There's so many of them. There was doubles at one time.
And that's what I think. I had some doubles, and this one fire truck had kind of an annoying siren. So when the batteries ran out, we kind of left it that way. But they're beautiful vehicles. They were made well in the early 2000s and 90s. They're pretty big trucks, So he loves rolling those around, and we have a lot of fun playing. It's a fun age.
It's a fun age, and it's. I'm just happy to see that you have that time, and you have the energy for a 2-year-old. Because I can't imagine. I didn't do well with an 8-year-old for a couple hours. You know what I mean? And you know what I wanted to bring up too? It's going to be cold. They're showing snow again. They're showing it in the forecast. Oh boy. And we have a lot of things for snow. I mean, I can't be. We don't even have enough time for that. That I brought it up at this point of our show. At this point, like half hour into. But I mean, we just have everything. I went right into the negative when it snows. Oh my gosh, what happens when the lines freeze up and the electric goes out?
Yeah, absolutely.
I just figured, well, what are they going to do?
Well, we have. Of course, it's too late to do something like this now. But just for the future, if you wanted to get the ball rolling with a whole home generator system from Generac, they're called the Home Guardians, and it literally doesn't matter what happens around you as far as electricity outages. I mean, this thing will power your home. They hook up the natural gas, And you want to talk about having peace of mind, especially if you live in a wooded area.
Yes.
Generac Home Guardian, I would never live in a heavily wooded area without one of these things. They're tremendous. They will power your whole house. So you can literally have a horrible storm with trees down all around the house and your electrical line down, or the power companies, for some reason, maybe out in the street, there's a pole down. None of that's going to affect you with the Generac Home Guardian supply.
And it's going to happen because especially in a wooded area. But even like where I live, like if the lines come down, or in a wooded area with all the wind, and it's just been so windy too. I see when I walk the dog all the time. So when I do that, I see so many trees that are broken, and you never know what's going to hit your house, or hit that electric box, and it's better to get a Generac now. You know what? If the government's sending money to people, when your money comes in, go get that Generac.
Yeah,
go get that Generac, because it's an investment.
Yeah, and if you go to East Plumbing, Heating, Electrical Supplies, we also have not only the Generac Home Guardians, the big ones to do your whole house, but we also sell the little ones.
Yes.
So we have a couple there now. If you want to stop in today at the counter and ask, what's available. Now, there were some really horrible storms in the south. I'd say a couple months ago. Generac restrictions at their factory.
Yes.
It's hard to get some products from Generac, and it just isn't something that we've been facing. It's nationwide at every retailer. So I know they're working around the clock to manufacture more things, and we get every shipment that we can in. When it comes to Generac products. So.
And they have great warranties. Like I think it's a 5-year warranty or something like that, and
yeah.
And you definitely want your electrician would put the Generac in, correct?
Absolutely, yes. The Home Guardian, the whole home generator, you want a professional to install that, because just like anything else, if you go to Ace and you buy a water heater, a boiler, whatever piece of equipment you happen to buy, anybody can come in and buy that stuff, but we recommend that a licensed professional install anything, because manufacturers will only honor warranties on things that were installed by a professional.
Right, and say that again, because we're not just talking about Generac. I want you to repeat those words one more time.
Anyone can buy from Ace Plumbing, Heating, Electrical Supplies, whether it's a water heater or a furnace, a boiler, this Generac Home Guardian, for example, also.
Yep.
But warranties are voided if a DIYer installs it. Plus, that can be quite dangerous. We do not recommend that. We recommend hiring a licensed professional to do the install on any of that on any equipment.
On any equipment, anything like that, because at the end of the day, all right, so you're saving $75 or you're going to save $100 because you got your neighbor putting it in or something like that, right? You got a problem in a year, you are not going to get the warranty for it, and you're going to blame Ace.
And it's quite frankly, it's not worth the risk, honestly.
It's not worth the risk, and I just know. I mean, if I did something like that, I'm going to go blame the store. Let's face it, because you get mad, you want to blame somebody, but you need to blame yourself. And I mean that in a nice way. We need to blame ourselves because we got the guy next door to do it, and now I can't use the warranty. You know what I mean? You want the professional to you off. They're charging. I mean, you could always look up pricing. I have. You know what I mean? You look it up. Make sure you're being treated right. I mean, I know we have great contractors that come in our door, whoever our audience lives. I don't know what's there, but I know in our 7 locations, I met so many of them, and
their whole life.
Their whole life. I wanted to say hello to Raymond that's listening to us today. I spoke to him the other day in Bellevue, Hamilton, and I want to say hello to him because he was listening today. And also, I wanted to reach out and ask if Mr. Williams was still listening. I have not seen him at his little store. He's an elderly man, and he enjoyed our show so much that when you drew the picture, when you sketched the picture of me for the promotion, I signed it and gave it to him, one of them.
Oh.
I made him a copy because he just loved our show, and I have not seen his car at the pantry, and I'm just curious. So I want to say hello to Mr. Williams, and if you're there, give a call, because I just haven't seen him, and he was pretty elderly, so I worry about it because he loved us.
Yeah, something you have to be concerned of today. The elderly are more at risk with COVID, and they have to be extra, extra careful. Speaking of that, a guy that I have admired greatly over the years.
Oh, boy, go ahead.
In my late teens, I loved Larry King, and he passed away today at 87.
He did?
Yeah, COVID got him. And
he was pretty sick, like he had not been looking well, He
was a heck of a guy. I mean, he worked his tail off, and the funny thing is I was always attracted to broadcast. I never got into broadcast of any kind until you asked me to be on this show. And from this show...
Did I ask you?
I think, unless I...
Wait a minute, John, did I ask you?
I don't know. But whenever I got on this as a
I do that for my boss on purpose.
I really fell in love with broadcast, and I've always loved it.
Your voice is perfect for broadcasting. It just is. I'm not putting my voice down. I have the personality. I don't have that broadcasting voice, but you do, Chuck. Oh.
Thank you. But I never looked at myself that way. I just enjoyed listening to broadcasts like Larry King interview shows. So when we started doing this, I fell in love with actually doing it and not just listening to it, because I always loved Larry King. And Larry King transcended CNN. He went into podcasting. He had a YouTube show. I followed him wherever he went, and it's sad for me.
I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you were a fan of his like that. You know what I mean? He's really a part of your life, of your growing, of your career.
It was just great. I thought he had a great voice and a great presence.
That's the word, presence, yes.
Interview style that he had, too. He let people... It wasn't about Larry King. It was about who he was interviewing. He asked great questions, and he let them tell their story and didn't really interrupt them, or the spotlight was on them, not him. You don't see that a lot today.
Maybe I should go, check out some of his interviews, you know what I mean? Only because a few things you said there, hey, I could learn myself.
Well, there's no better person to learn from when it comes to broadcast.
I mean, since you're saying it, I'm going to do that. And you know what? Hank Aaron died, too.
Yeah.
Not from COVID. I mean, I don't know what he died from, but that's what I thought you were going to say. I did not know about Larry King.
Yeah, literally, I would say when you text me this morning, I probably found out maybe 5 minutes before you text me.
That's really sad. It's sad for you because it's almost like he's part of your college or something, you know what I mean, in a sense,
Yeah, he was always, his show was always around in some form or fashion.
How many men want to be Larry King? How old was his wife? Wasn't she young or something?
Well, his latest wife, let's see here, because he had a few, as you know.
They were young, right? Or I'm not saying young, but, I say, like 30, 40, and he was like, I don't know, 70-something at the time. And
his wife was 61.
Well, that's a lot younger. Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, I'm going to be 61 in 2 years, thank you. So 87. Nah, it's not going to work, Chuck. I was doing the math, like, not today.
Well, I'll tell you what, he had a lot of energy for 87.
You know what? He did. You would not know he was 87.
Oh, heck no.
But I did see a difference in him. Well, he looked real thin to me, like the last time somebody interviewed him for something. I said, wow, he looks so thin to me. But I thought he had cancer, to be honest with you, prior.
Oh, he may have. I'm sure he had some health problems there.
I know with COVID, a lot of people, this is crazy. A lot of people are getting upset that they see that somebody passed away with COVID, but yet maybe they had a heart condition first, and it's listed as a death as a number for COVID. And so they get upset about that. And I'm like, I don't know. I wouldn't have had to take it. Like, if I got COVID, my doctor kind of told me, like, you might not make it. I'm saying it to you nicely. I'm not saying it to you the way he said it to me. So that scares you. So that means, but I have an underlying condition. So if I got COVID and I died, it's going to be listed as COVID. I wouldn't have died unless I got COVID. I wouldn't have died, say, that early. You know what I mean? So that there drives me nuts because I have no idea what it's really supposed to be, And I think when you pass away, you don't really care. I don't think that person really cares, Now,
the one thing about Larry King over the years, and I was telling my wife this morning, once in a great while he would mention that he couldn't even think about dying. Like death and the other side, it scared the daylights out of him. He would think about it, he was almost obsessed with it, where he said, he was an atheist, but he didn't know, he couldn't imagine the thought of if you're an atheist, you don't know. You figure you're just gone, right?
Yeah,
You don't
yeah.
think of an afterlife necessarily. So with him, what is it going to be like tonight? He couldn't imagine not existing. So you're like to him. So with atheism, it's just you just cease to exist. If you have a religious belief, you're in the afterlife, But if you're an atheist, and he couldn't wrap his mind around just the thought of not existing, and that was something that he would say periodically.
That's pretty bizarre, since he's not existing on Earth any longer. What you just told me, because you know what I mean. So he just felt that he was. Are you saying like that he was like never going to die, like he's never really dying?
He didn't want to. Well, none of us do, but he really. Since he is such an unknown, and he just thought he was just going to just cease to exist. He didn't believe in an afterlife. That the thought of dying to him was probably much more worrisome, I guess.
Oh, I see.
Obsessed over it a little bit more than somebody that has a faith of having an afterlife.
Yeah, I maybe that's why, because I'm not scared. I'm not scared, like, to die. And, just like everybody else, they think, I don't want to suffer. I'm like, it's probably going to make me suffer, because he knows I'll handle it. You know what I mean? Like, he's only going to give you, that's my belief, you know what I'm saying? Everybody has different beliefs, but whatever. I believe in something bigger than me, for sure. So I'm not running the show, that's for sure.
He interviewed so many people, from presidents to scientists to... he would interview people. He wanted to know about every faith, every religion, what they believed as far as an afterlife was concerned. He asked people so many questions regarding their beliefs and what they felt happened after your life on Earth. And so, when he passed away, I thought about that too. That he had that kind of like that obsession of what the heck happens.
And I wonder if he ever got an answer to himself where he was satisfied.
Well, who knows?
It depends on you saw him speak about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But there's a lot of great stuff with him on YouTube. Some recent stuff, and a lot of his older stuff is on, and just a plethora of guests from all walks of life he interviewed. So, rest in peace, Larry King.
Mr. Larry King has passed away at 87 years old. Wow. He lived a good life, though, And he definitely must have taught a lot of people, because you speak about him so highly with your career, and you're probably not the only one out there.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're not the only one out there feeling that way. Now, I'm moving my papers around so we can go into the next subject. How has Ace been there, Mr. Chuck?
Good. Oh, and as we're talking about COVID there, Ace is still selling the KN95 masks. And
they better get them. I heard on the news.
Sanitizer.
You know what? Let's get that out there. Make a big announcement. You better call it. Call Ace. You could do a drive. You could do a pickup. You don't even have to get the KN95.
Well, we got this storm brewing, right? We may get a lot of snow. What was it, Monday into Tuesday or something?
Yeah, I've been watching that. Yep.
So if you wanted to, you could, let's say you wanted to get some KN95 masks, gloves, hand sanitizers. Let's say you also want to get like ice melt to put some like calcium on your...
And we have it for the dogs too, to protect the dogs. We got it.
If you need shovels, if you want to get some like preventative measures,
snow prepperness
masks, if you want to mix it up, get some disposable gloves, hand sanitizer, ice melt, shovel, scraper, whatever you need for the storm that's brewing. Give us a call at 856-692-9374 at Ace Plumbing Supply, and you can pay for the items over the phone and come pick them up. We'll do curbside pickup if you're afraid to come in.
And plus it's cold and windy. You don't have to come in. You know what I mean? But if they're going to do this thing where we have to wear a mask for 100 days, I wear a mask. I think it doesn't. The only place I go to is to the grocery store. I might run to Wawa, so I'm not wearing it long. You know what I mean? But now that they're saying, you got to, wear it all day, you better get, because they're going to run out of masks. We will not run out of masks, so you better go get them today before our next order comes in. We might run out of them for an hour. That's about it at Ace. You know what I mean? That's at any location. Go get your mask now, especially if this order is going to come in. We have to wear for 100 days straight. Go get it. You got like you said, Chuck, that was great. You got your mask. You got your sanitizer. you might as well get your snow shovel, get your snow melt,
If you need anything,
get your gloves.
for the snow that's upcoming that we may get here in South Jersey. If you need ice, if you want a bag of ice melt, it's not terribly expensive. You get that just to have it. If you have steps, if you have.
I just want to let you know it's for if you're on federal property or if you're traveling with the airlines or traveling from state to state.
Yes.
It's not mandatory if you're just around.
Oh, like if you're just like, right, like if you're just going to go into the store unless the store says you have to wear it, or like it's not really mandatory, you're saying. It's
Right,
not
exactly.
mandatory for us living
Michelle,
here
now
already.
I'm on the air with you. It's mandatory. They want to do this mask wearing for 100 days if you're on federal property or
Okay.
if you travel between the states. If
I
you're
heard you this time,
traveling on the airlines or planes or whatever. Now, I'm not sure if you're in your car going from state to state. I would do it just to be safe.
I don't wear mine in my car. Do you, Norm?
Well, not when I'm alone.
No, not me neither. I'm always alone.
But
But
if-
now,
if I was
do
in
see
a
people
vehicle with
driving around
someone
that way.
else,
I'm like,
I'm
how do
wearing a
they
mask.
breathe? I don't even know why you wear it in the car because it's, really not healthy. The mask, you're breathing in, your own air. So
Yeah, it helps. You want to always have, since you need it here and not, maybe not.
But-
of course, when you're alone.
Like if you're outside jogging or if you're outside
of
on your
course.
property or you're
Yep.
walking down a sidewalk or whatever, they recommend that you wear a mask. Let's, hopefully this COVID will calm down. Let's get rid of this thing. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, please, let's
But
get rid of it.
it's
And,
not.
and speaking
it's
of
not
which,
a law
when I
unless
walk
you're
the
on
dog,
federal property or traveling.
I have a, I don't know what you would call it, but I want to say it's like a necklace, and I have it clipped on there. I have like a little hook, and I wear it around my neck so I don't forget to have it, because people just want to come up to me and talk right in my face without their mask when I'm walking the dog, and that's okay. So I back up, and then they come forward, and then I tell them, I'm sorry, but I'm trying to stay away from you. I have to say it because you know how blunt I am. Right? I'm trying to stay away from you. Some people just don't think you need to wear it. I was told by my doctor not to be around people that aren't going to be wearing it, so I'm not,
It wouldn't hurt to have a box with you if you're in the car, so you can put it
That's the car? Yeah.
So you get them at Ace Plumbing Supply. We have those. And, like with the storm coming up, you can get everything together and we'll bring it out to your car and you're good to go.
KN95, and they're the ones that they recommend. They're not the cutest looking thing going on in the world, you know what I mean? But you can breathe in them, and that's what's important. You can breathe in them, and you might as well get them now, because who knows when this is going to go away. Hopefully the vaccine works, and, everybody can get back to where we were. I don't think anything's going to ever be like it was prior. People are still going to be working remotely, maybe part-time remotely, but there's so much going on with that. I think a lot of people changed out their filter. I know, I don't want to say the company because it's pretty big, but one of our reps was telling me that, one of our advertising reps was telling me that they're not going back into the office part until June of 2021 because they had to change all the filter system or whatever, all the ductwork. They had to change everything. People in that building, like a ton of people.
Absolutely.
Like 1,000 people, you know what I mean? Not like us, we got, 50 or whatever, you know what I mean?
Oh, it's a big adjustment. I mean, with with a filtration system, and probably they probably put measures in for like plexiglass or whatever the glass
Yes.
between people, and that's a big adjustment for a business to adhere to all those.
It's a lot of money. The plexiglass is great, but it's a lot of money. When I get my nails done, they have that glass there, and I hit it all the time because, I talk with my hands. I thought the guy was going to shoot me the other night, I talk with my hands, and I'm sorry, I guess I can't see. He keeps it so clean. I can't even see it.
Probably scratched it all up.
He would probably kill me because one thing I want to tell you, there are some people that go through the motions in life of doing things. Something like this, you can't go through the motions. I walked in there the other night. I'm the next client to come in, and I have an appointment, and I walk in. I see him. He's there spraying the cleaning it. He's not going through the motion. He makes sure everybody signs the paper. It's really good. Takes the temperature. He doesn't skimp. and he says to me, and he's the guy that takes care of everything there. You know, I get the best guy, but yeah, he's the busiest guy because he's going to make sure your temperature's taken. He's going to make sure you wash your hands and that you sign the paperwork, because he said, I'm protecting my people. That's what he told me. He said, I'm protecting my people. He goes, and I don't want to get sick. I've been in there where one person, you know how you show your nose a little bit? He said, mask up, sign, go back, wash your hands. He ain't playing around.
Yeah, you have to cover it, and I make sure when I put mine on, I tuck it under my glasses. I make sure it's fitted to my nose.
And a lot of people don't realize that that's what they have to do. I do steam my glasses up a lot.
And I have a beard, so I keep the beard trim, and I make sure before I'm around anybody, I look in the mirror, I make sure it's adjusted right.
One young lady, she actually is in the Air Force for the government. Her name's Tina, and she actually helped me get my dog. The reason because of Tina. And Tina was saying that I saw it on the internet, that she wears the mask because, of course, she has to. She's in the government, and just her face just broke out. So you have to find the right material and give your skin a chance to get used to it, and you have to change it too. Either wash them or change them, throw them out.
Yes.
And the best thing to do, Chuck, is what you said. I was thinking the other day, being that I come from the car business, and so do you, in a sense. You know what I mean? Chuck's family owns JC Auto. If you ever need a nice used auto, I've gotten 3 of them out of there for my son. It's a great place to go get an auto. Not that I should be plugging them right now, but it just came up out of nowhere. You know what I mean? I think that the new cars should have a little and you pop it and your mask comes out, because I felt that the masks were never going to go away. So I'm like they used to do the Kleenex insertion. You pull your Kleenex out, and now we'll be pulling mask out instead.
I just put the mask in there instead. Yeah.
Just put the mask in there instead and pull your mask out, because you know. And I didn't realize we sold them by the boxes at Ace Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical Supplies.
No, we're still selling them by the box. If that's what you want, you know.
If that's what you want. Now, I have one box. They're the blue ones, though. They're not the KNs. And what a difference. That the KN is nice, and it's just right. It's what they recommend to use. Anything else.
It gives you enough clearance on the inside, too, for your nose and stuff.
So let's mention that winter chicken dinner, dinner with a T. Winter chicken dinner will be February 27th. That is $10. This is to support Habitat. You could go right to the Restore and pick up the tickets. It's right there. They're 601 South Delsea Drive, Violin, New Jersey, right next door to Ace Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical Supplies.
Right next door.
667 South Delsea Drive. I don't know how the numbers are like that, but they are. We share the parking lot with them. There you go. So after you come on the 27th, you'll be listening to the show in the car as you're driving there. You'll be getting your shovels. It's a great day. Anybody that's listening to us right now, February 27th is going to be a great day. They need to put it on their calendar. I have people waiting. I have senior citizens that are waiting for their tickets.
Now, are we going to be broadcasting live remotely from there, or no?
You know, I thought I was going to ask you, did you want to do that? And then I thought, it's really cold outside.
We'd have to get dressed like Bernie Sanders.
Oh, my gosh. I'm like, it is so cold out.
He was in his mittens, and he was all...
And because we could always go inside, but I really can't do that because it's a Saturday and they're open for business. So that means they're going to have customers. So you and I would talk about that. It'd be fun if we could handle an hour out in the cold.
Yeah, it all depends on what the weather's like.
I mean, if it's going to snow, we're not doing it. But yeah, so we might be live. We're not sure. We're not sure. But on the 27th, we're saying to actually go to the Restore, get your ticket for the chicken dinner that's going to be happening February 20th. Are there now? In fact, I'm waiting for 10 tickets that are sent to me in the mail. I promised a lot of senior citizens, and even though it's a month from now, I guess they want it on the refrigerator. They want to see it. You know what I mean? It gives them something to look forward to. Because I called them with excitement, and I promised them last week, and I didn't quite get them yet. I'm waiting for them to be mailed to me. So they called me and asked me. I'm like, sorry. You know what I mean?
The top chefs in New Jersey.
It's a top chef in New Jersey, Rob Bono. I mean, for $10.
Absolutely.
$10. I don't even think that the church dinners are that cheap. I'm not sure. And it's going to be slamming because it is Rob Bono from Greenview. He is the president of the board of directors for Habitat. And he just happens to be a chef. I mean, and the best chef, you're right. Probably the best chef in South Jersey, now that you say that. You know? Have you been there in a while, Chuck?
I went to his restaurant for my anniversary in last October.
And then the pandemic came after.
Well, it was during the pandemic, but they were allowed to be open with certain capacity.
Oh, October, just now. Oh, I'm thinking.
2020, yeah. And then shortly thereafter, they closed again, and then they did curbside pickup, which I think they're still doing. They may be open inside now. I'm not sure, but we had a great dinner. It's never a disappointment there.
It's never. I mean, I've done takeout because, you know, I'm not sitting I'm not, even when they opened up outside, just not sitting anywhere. And I hope someday that I'm going to, because I go, boy, I haven't done anything. And I feel a little itchy once in a while, but not as much as I think I should be feeling. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I should be wanting to get out. But
my wife misses going out to dinner so much.
Oh.
You know, I think that was the last time we actually went out was at the Eastland last October for our anniversary.
Yeah, because that's when you guys can get to talk. You know what I mean? Don't have the baby. And although you took the baby that day, didn't you?
No, or my in-laws.
Took the baby. And it's good quality time together, but that'll all be back, you know. And it's not the same. Like doing the takeout it's not the same. The food is excellent for the takeout, but I like the ambiance too at Greenview, you know.
Well, people like going out for different reasons. They like just having a break from everything and being in a different location, and so maybe you see somebody you know there, you know, eating at another table. But yeah, it's something that huge, I would say, majority of Americans enjoy doing that. And,
I think.
Yeah.
What do we have, about maybe 7 weeks, and maybe the weather will start breaking a little bit? You know, to where people, they'll be eating outside again, and, you know, people that are afraid maybe to go back in a restaurant. You know what I mean? The weather's going to change, and they'll be able to eat outside, and they'll be comfortable again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of restaurants adapted by
2 minutes.
expanding their outside dining. That's something that people could enjoy as well.
Yeah, and there was another expense for restaurants too. I wanted to tell a joke. I know we only have a minute. I just want to get a joke out there, just a cute little joke. So, tell me what you think of this. You ready? I'm going to call this the joke of the week.
Okay.
Well, here is your problem. The doctor says to the first-time father, "It seems that this child needs a diaper change." The new father replies, "That can't be. The package said it was good for 8 to 10 pounds."
Oh.
I just thought, let me put something out there. You didn't like my joke. Oh, my goodness.
I like it.
Just a little something to get out. How about this one? Here's one for you. Did you hear about the 2 antennas that got married? The wedding was just okay, but the reception was great.
Oh.
Got to laugh at your own jokes. I just thought, well, as soon as Norm would come in and say, you know, got a minute or two left, let me try and get a joke out there. I had it ready. What we do for a living, but I want to say that I am Michelle Chatterchick Lowe. I am the marketing director for Ace Plumbing, Heating, and Electrical Supplies. 7 locations to serve you. I love what I do for Ace Plumbing, and that's why we do Ace Your Space. And next to me is...
I'm Chuck Shazer, and hey, you know what? If you're out there listening on Cruise 92.1 WVLT and you dig Ace Your Space, you can catch us here every single month, the 4th Saturday of the month at 11 a.m. And check us out, Facebook.com/Ace Supply for Michelle Lowe's Lunchbox banner, Wednesdays and Thursdays at noon.
That's Michelle Chatterchick Lowe on Facebook. We will be live Wednesdays and Thursdays on my page, also on Ace Supply on Facebook. What's the proper address, Chuck?
It's Facebook.com/Ace Supply.
I was pretty good at that, right? Mm-hmm. And we want to wish everybody a great, safe weekend. Go get your canines. Go get your hand sanitizer. Get your snow stuff. How's that? Chuck Shoulders, I want to thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year. Bye-bye.